Disciplined men get all the options. Growing up, I was very undisciplined and very much of a degenerate. I was doing all the bad habits like smoking weed, watching TV all day, playing video games, watching porn, scrolling on social media. That is what I did for the first 19 years of my life, and I had very little to no success with girls. And at 19, when I got broken up with, all of this changed, and I took on a god tier level of discipline. Since then, it's been a more balanced, disciplined lifestyle. But when I got broken up with, I went all in on self-improvement and becoming the best version of myself. And being that disciplined has caused my life to 100x. And now I genuinely can state that I have so many options because of it. I'm going to be breaking down exactly why in this video. And boys, if you want to become a high value man and improve yourself across the board, I built a guide for you breaking down exactly how you can do that. Everything from skills, character traits, fitness, mindset. It's all broken down in this guide, and that's completely for free. It's the first link in the description below. The first thing I want to dive into is the areas that I actually am disciplined in. This is so important to know what to put your energy into and what disciplines make a difference in your life. So when I was 19 and I got broken up with, I had already been doing fitness and training, so that was something that was already automatic for me. But what I incorporated, which I'd never done before, was removing all instant gratification activities and incorporating delayed gratification ones, like reading, meditating, and gratitude journaling, which I incorporated into a morning routine. And I have done that morning routine without fail for the last 3, almost 4 years now at this point, and it has been one of the biggest factors that has changed my life. So on top of that, it's just diet, work, and a dopamine detoxing lifestyle that I've maintained from that initial time when I really dove into removing instant gratification and incorporating the delayed. So I've obviously had to incorporate some forms of instant gratification over the years. It can't be 100% zero instant gratification. That's a little extreme. But I've still maintained the delayed gratification activities, like I was saying, the morning routine consistently. And this is how I stay very disciplined. So it's very much my mindset is about training, self-improvement, work. And then in my free time, I will do some things, maybe like watch TV, which I pretty much don't see as that bad of an activity. If it's a way that you just kind of have some downtime, that's okay. And obviously there's things that are worse and everyone knows what they are, but you want to try and stay away from the bad activities. And if there's some that you just enjoy, that's not too big of a deal in terms of building a lifestyle that you can sustain long term. So that is what I stay disciplined with. And now I'm going to be breaking down how these things have changed my life. Okay, so how do those things actually make you more attractive? Aside from the gym and putting on muscle, the obvious ones, let me dive more into the self-improvement and removing the instant gratification and incorporating that morning routine that I mentioned. That was the most powerful thing that has made me the most attractive version of myself. There's so many benefits that I can dive into. I honestly don't even know where to start. So let me just start somewhere. The first thing is true internal confidence. This is probably the biggest one that I got from this, which is I started to build trust in my word. I said I was going to do the morning routine and I did it, and I've been doing it for years now. And I also said early on when I was doing the initial dopamine detox that I was removing all instant gratification, and I did. So those two things combined built a lot of trust in who I am as a person, as a man, and it allowed me to leverage it and take on bigger and bigger tasks. So I was able to then take on sales and accomplish that. And I was able to start talking to girls and accomplish that. And then things evolved and I started to develop more and more and build my confidence in many different ways. So one way that the self-improvement really helped me was with confidence. Another thing was mental health. Throughout my entire youth, I always had social anxiety. I was always so nervous, wrapped up in my thoughts. And when I finally did this, I reduced anxiety to literally none. The only time I'll get anxiety nowadays is, like, for example, the last time I had bad anxiety was when I showed up to Norway for a month by myself, never having been in Norway, in a pretty big city. And I was like, shit, when I landed it kind of hit me and I was like, holy shit, now I'm going out this weekend. Like, I was just a little nervous, but I still went out either way using all the practices that I've cultivated over the years. And then after the second day, I was back into the flow of things, my normal self, and I had no anxiety going out in the city all by myself for the rest of the month that I was there. But when I first landed, it was just a little bit of anxiety, nothing too bad, but just a little bit. And that's kind of like the only anxiety that I'll have is when I really push my comfort zone and do some like extreme solo travel. But besides that, I don't have social anxiety not to go talk to a girl, talk to guys, whatever it is. I can make friends with these, get with girls. It's very comfortable for me to socialize, whereas that was this huge source of just mental struggle for me when I was younger. It was always just this thing on my mind. And what really helped with that was the slowing down, meditation, cultivating presence and awareness of my mind, reading books that also just helps slow you down, journaling, reflective journaling, diving into learning about myself and who I am and my different struggles and challenges and goals. And this has just been so valuable over the years to really just develop internally. And that's the big thing here is, yeah, the physicality is great and I'm preaching it all the time, but so many people are missing out on the internal aspect. And this is only going to come from discipline. I mean, I honestly enjoy working out. Like today I trained legs and this was a rare occasion where I really didn't want to hit legs, but I did it anyway. And that's discipline. But I'm like the last 2 days for pull and push, I was hype as fuck. I wanted to go into the gym. I'm dying to go to the gym. So that's not really discipline. But there's certain times when I wake up and I'm groggy and I'm tired and I pick up my book and I just start reading. That's discipline. And this is ways that you can build wins consistently every single day, starting off with that positive momentum, getting into the best mental state possible. And this is really what's driven me in an upward spiral year after year. When there has been challenges, setbacks, different kinds of things that have happened, I've still managed to notice that every single year there's been massive improvement to who I am as a character because I do this internal work and I'm very disciplined in many different areas of my life, as I mentioned before. And that's really, really what has gotten me to this point here. So that is what makes me so attractive, I believe, is the disciplined acts that I'm consistently doing, whether it's the self-improvement, the gym, the work that I do, always trying to improve skill sets and become the best version of myself. That is really what makes me, I believe, so attractive and so much more attractive than my younger self. Now let's dive into why girls want a disciplined man and why they find that so attractive. So I just told you the story of how I got broken up with and what I did after that changed my life. But about 5 months prior, I actually tried to get onto self-improvement. I really didn't know what to do. I didn't have too much guidance, but I just started reading books and I got on NoFap and then I was trying a business model out. Those were like the 3 things that I did that was, for me, improvement. So that was like the big thing. And I also just wasn't smoking weed or drinking. So that was like all the improvement that I knew at the time. And after about a month and a half of doing that, I eventually met that girl who went on to break my heart, and we started dating. And one of the things that she initially found very attractive about me was the fact that I was improvement oriented. I was trying a business, I was reading books. She thought that was super attractive, being that all the other guys that she knew were just smoking weed every day, drinking, partying, and that was their mindset. Whereas I was actually trying to improve myself. Even if it wasn't that much, it was still something. And she really liked that. And one of the big mistakes that I made in that relationship was I quickly folded and went back to my old degenerate ways because I'd only been on self-improvement for really a month. So then we started smoking weed together. I would play video games and she would watch and encourage me. Like we would just do some silly ass degenerate shit. And I went back to my old ways, and I think she lost respect for me and with that, but with many other things as well. But being disciplined is one way that girls will instantly find you more attractive. They'll have more respect for you, and they'll also see you as a longer term partner more than just someone who is fun. Like you can be physically attractive and be fun in a girl's eyes, but if you're very disciplined, if you're improving yourself, these sorts of things always light girls up. So I'm very authentic with my self-improvement. I always share this type of stuff when I'm on dates and things like that. And there has not been one single girl who has been turned off by the fact that I read, meditate, I gratitude journal, I do reflective journaling. They're all very impressed. And even just like this last weekend, I was out partying, so a little bit degenerate, but I met these girls on the train ride up and I talked to them, got to know them a bit. And I happened to see them on the train ride down as well on Sunday. So I was journaling when they walked by and they were like, oh, what are you journaling? And I was like, yeah, I'm just writing some things out, clearing my head. And they're like, you could see that they were impressed by this. It wasn't like, oh, that's a weird habit or whatever. They were like, oh, wow, that's really, they were older girls too. So I feel like they were pretty impressed by the fact that, I'm sitting here on a train journaling instead of like everyone else who's fucking scrolling on their phone, watching TikTok and bullshit. So those are the habits that show that you're just a little bit more intelligent, that you are doing things with your life, you're at least trying to improve. I think those things carry a lot of weight and make you much more attractive as a man. For me, in a girl, if I heard that she did these habits, those are massive green flags. There's nothing worse than hearing about a girl who's just dopamine addicted. Like there's been plenty I've met recently who are just like, oh, I'm ADHD, I can't stay off my phone or not be doing something. And that's never like a green flag for me. I'm like, oh yeah, great, this girl's gonna be on TikTok all the time when we're trying to hang out. Like that's never good. I like it when someone is present who can be in the moment, and girls like the same thing. That gonna make you have better conversation. It's gonna make you more emotionally intelligent, socially in tune. It has so many benefits that go just beyond what I mentioned before, and it goes so into depth. There's so much that will improve in your life by being a disciplined man, doing everything that I talked about in this video. And once again, if you want that high value man guy that's gonna teach you how to build your value across the board and really become the most attractive version of yourself, that's completely for free. It's the first link in the description below.